Every day you wake up, you're faced with two choices. Keep moving forward or give up. An average man would plunge into depression if he loses his job or gets dumped by a woman. I have been there myself. I fell into depression, thinking that I would never get back on my feet. But then I remembered I had a purpose in life, and it wasn't to become some weak lover boy. So I stood back up. I got back on track and regained my sense of purpose. The worst mistake a man can make in life is to focus on a goal or reward without first thinking of the journey that lies ahead of him. Rewards and end goals are terrific. The goal could be monetary, an award, even those few beers in the weekend. However, when you dedicate your time and energy to something that comes after, it makes the whole process less interesting and much more difficult. Most men don't like working hard because they feel they are not getting paid enough, or they just don't want to tire themselves out. So they cut corners and slack off. This is weakness. Working hard with your sole focus on what comes after makes the whole experience less interesting. Not just that, but in the future, you're less likely to lean into hard work. To understand this concept better, imagine you're a waiter and you enjoy doing your job naturally. Then you start receiving tips from customers and occasional praises from your boss. Out of pride, you start taking longer break periods and you begin to feel good about yourself. All of a sudden, the tips stop coming. Probably because of new policies. Even your boss stops complimenting you all the time. Like a lost sheep, you lose interest in doing your job, and everything begins to seem meaningless. Now remember that before the tips and compliments, you enjoyed working hard. No one told you to, but you did. What this relates to is so-called intrinsic versus extrinsic reinforcement. So, how do you break free from this? What can you do to stop yourself from only thinking about the reward? In my journey, I tried several techniques to break free from this cycle of thought, but none of them worked. But when I was about to give up, I found the theory of growth mindset comes in. Having a growth mindset is essentially striving to be better. Whenever thoughts flood through your mind, don't tell yourself that your only reward is at the end of the finish line. Let the race be the reward itself. People who adopt a growth mindset perform better than those who are strictly goal-oriented because they are focused on the effort itself. Each small step is as important as the final step before you reach that goal. The thing about a growth mindset is that everyone can cultivate it. Whether you're at the bottom or you think you're a failure. All it takes is learning how to access the rewards from the effort and process. Instead of making yourself weak and soft, the best thing to do is to attach the feeling of friction and suffering to an internally generated reward system. You're not just chasing after the innately pleasurable things. Tell yourself that the process is the meaningful part. When you're on your knees, stand up and say to yourself, "It is painful. I know this isn't good, but I'm focused on this. I'm going to start to access the reward now, not later." The best part is that your brain gets used to it, and you begin to enjoy the effort you put into achieving your goals, not just the goals alone. When we focus only on the goal, only on the win, and only on the prize as a reward, we undermine that entire process. So, in those moments when you've worked yourself tired, tell yourself that it is painful, and because it is painful, it will evoke an increase in dopamine release later. It will increase my baseline in dopamine. To optimize your efficiency during the week, refrain from triggering dopamine rewards until the work week concludes. Preserve the pleasure spikes for the weekend, designating Sunday for a dopamine detox. If you plan to reward yourself midweek, ensure you allocate a full 24 hours afterward to reset your baseline dopamine levels. Now that we laid out the reasons why every stride you take should be embraced as a reward, you're likely pondering how to extract that sweet dopamine from your grind. If you're eager to unravel the secrets, just give this video a hearty click. Remember, you are not weak. You can do anything you set out to. Be a warrior, be a Spartan, and most of all, be fearless.